giant, and he told us basically it's the different dimensions. Like this is one dimension, and they're magnetic, and it's different dimensions. And around our dimension, in the center is the North Pole, and around the outside is the Antarctic. And in the center, there's a core, it's the lava. And like the stars up underneath every one of these. So when you're when you're looking up, you're seeing the stars, you're seeing the bottom dimension of you're seeing the bottom of the next dimension. Now, the ETs have learned how to go through that lava, that molten lava. They have the technology. But you can also go around the outside of Antarctica. It's kind of like a wave, and you go down in water, and you come back up on the other side. But anyway, that's the multiple dimensions, and that's the system that we live in. So I guess you flat earthers got some of it right.
Yeah.
And it's multiple dimensions.
Like two magnets.
And yeah, there are magnets that.
Situation on Earth, as well as many other disclosure topics, you must start with the basics. Why are we here? We're souls having a human experience by choice. Human bodies were created for the purpose of soul incarnation, body by Elohim, soul by God Source. What is the reason for suffering and struggle? Why do athletes use weights? Resistance builds strength. We are in a duality matrix of free will choices. It's a school for soul learning, not a prison. Individual free will tests were planned for the greatest benefit of humanity. There are positive ETs who have been with us since the beginning. Some look human and some don't. Some have been called angels. They serve as our spirit guides and incarnate as humans too, choosing to forget. Many of us are their soul family and come from the same soul origin. There is not a God fighting a devil, just as there's not a struggle between positive and negative ETS for Earth. Galactic Federation always has the power. They continually stop attacks and disasters that we never hear about. They try to teach us to choose love over fear. They don't save us because this is about us saving ourselves by waking up to our true authority over evil. What is being awake? Learning how to live with inner peace, to choose morality and integrity, despite there being a concept of evil that can't be defeated in duality. All the crafts seen in our skies now are exclusively Galactic Federation or aligned with them. Most are Pleiadian, Arcturian, Sirian and Andromedan. They have lights because they want to be seen. They blend with human crafts because they don't want to cause unnecessary fear. Galactic Federation crafts were prophesied by Jesus as the Son of Man returning in the last days. It refers to Pleiadians who are like humans. Jesus said crafts will be seen prior to the day of the Lord, also called the shift, ascension, or biblical rapture. Galactic Federation crafts are seen near military bases because they meet with select military personnel, and some military have gone to off-planet bases. GF crafts regularly maintain giant underground crystals that will serve as a form of technology to allow the shift to happen. There have been negative crafts on Earth before, but we are currently protected from all outside negative ET crafts by GF. Demonic entities are confined to astral and only have as much dominion in our world as we give them through our own free will choices between light and dark. Negative ETs we called Anunnaki once walked Earth playing God and gave authority to cults who still worship them. They are the mainstream establishment. The entities in Lil and Enki still lead the Cabal. They are imprisoned until the shift but are summoned in Cabal blood rituals. Generations alive now are here for the shift to non-duality, which provides the expanded consciousness necessary to become a galactic civilization. Evil will be left behind in this timeline, and the new 5D Earth will have full disclosure and open contact with Galactic Federation. There are 200 million star seeds total and 75 million Pleiadian star seeds waking up and seeking this kind of information. Our family has identified many famous star seeds over the years, too many to name. Judith does soul origin readings, links in profile. How do archangels fit with Galactic Federation? This might help religious people who still honor angels and archangels connect the dots. They are all Elohim. There are thousands of archangels assisting us unseen alongside the galactic races. There are thousands of archangel star seeds incarnated now along with millions of galactic race star seeds. Archangel Michael not only works directly with Elder IKAI, the leader of Galactic Federation, but their bond is ancient. Ikai and Pleiadians created their appearance to resemble archangels like Michael. You could say we're all made in the image of archangels. Archangels are not members of Galactic Federation themselves but played a role in its creation. They don't have a home planet. They travel alone through space, or with GF on crafts, continually assisting those in need. Both Pleiadians, Lashe, and archangels, Vafase, are referenced in ancient scriptures as holy messengers. They walk among us unseen and have never left us. Soon we'll know them as we are known. Number Nio, the first friendship known in creation was Elder Ikai and the powerful Archangel Michael. They traveled together and observed the vastness of the ethers of nothingness and traversed great areas that would be labeled by mankind as galaxies. The vastness of creation became their playground as worlds formed with explosions. From Maldex arrived, increasing push-pull on Earth, everything was less dense. Large-celled creatures like dragons and dinosaurs died. Rock was not as dense. The footprint was made because of that. When Maldex exploded, the fire heat scorched the Earth and baked what we know now as bedrock. The waters rose from the moon coming, and we are currently walking on all the mud and dead creatures. So there is how extinction worked. How they built all those, now solid stone, buildings and such now. Scientists are today from George the Giant that we talk to via telepathy. That God did remove the previous civilization from Earth. Many of you call it the Mud Age. He destroyed all their buildings and such, and we did start over. Those souls were taken to another place to develop. People were having so many kids that they basically forgot how to love their own kids. It was like a rebirth of Earth. For example, people did not protect/love their daughters and make sure they had a good man. He divided the Pacific, the trench, and pushed all that land down. Tartarian and such places that no longer exist. YouTube channel My Lunch Break at My Lunch Break discusses the missing people and such. We had asked George where did that civilization go, and that is where and why we got this information. It is important to understand our mistakes so we don't repeat them. God's voice is what they shortly interpreted as a nuclear bomb. Both Mu and Atlantis sunk in the mud. Both were crystal cities. Building taller than Mt. Everest. The weight and then God's voice destroyed all that. George's location is planet Earth. Right now he is between Hawaii and Mexico, where he swam way down and followed a cave system to find a underground city. He is with a bunch of giants. Yesterday during our conversation they realized if they are still alive then they have a chance. They are still in God's will. So lots going on. And no one can find the giants. They have God's protection also. As long as they are in His will. Before the moon arrived from Maldex arrived, increasing push-pull on Earth, everything was less dense. Large-celled creatures like dragons and dinosaurs died. Rock was not as dense. The footprint was made because of that. When Maldex exploded, the fire heat scorched the Earth and baked what we know now as bedrock. The waters rose from the moon coming, and we are currently walking on all the mud and dead creatures. So there is how extinction worked. How they built all those, now solid stone, buildings and such now. Scientists are clueless. This reading is from the Apoplahation Dragon. The truth will come out. There is no stopping it. Our moon was from Maldek. The moon caused Earth to stretch and breathe to become alive. It slowed down its rotation when it came by Mars. It turned and then conjoined its orbit with Earth. That created the Earth flexing, like the body stretching. Push and pulled like breathing. God breathed light into the Earth. Like the lungs expanding and compressing. Mother Earth Gaia talks to every soul before they take a journey on Earth. She basically gives them a tour of what they can do. Dragonfly. Big bug. Whatever. Each shard of light, soul, needs to return to source. Source is light. Not physical. We think of souls as physical and they are not. Many come to Earth to remind themselves that they are. In order to appreciate being in spirit you need to be physical. You don't need to reincarnate over and over. When Mars and Maldex exploded, those souls were lost/left adrift in space. There was many light workers that helped them to another physical place like Earth to help them finish their journey/understanding. So there are plenty of ETs here on Earth. When we see we are just a shard of light that is on a journey to find we are. We can see it doesn't matter the species. It doesn't matter if we are a giant Bigfoot, fallen angel, Satan himself. It's all the same. Shards of light looking for truth. At one time I cared about Nephilim and who the fallen ones was and who the titans was and on and on. But you can see it doesn't mean anything. When you see souls are just light, that will rest when they go home. God sent his son to help. Jesus helps many into the light. Especially children. Many pass into the light by self-choice. Jesus will help anyone that calls him. It is all about learning that you are. I am. Religion and history doesn't do much to simplify this concept. What I'm telling you should feel light on your soul because you should feel this is true as it is. Your souls can relax. Can you feel that? You are good as you are. You are loved. You will go home. You may study to be, but now that you know what a soul is, you can go sit on the grass and smile. The journey is over. You're no young chicken like us.
Say about that crap.
Or we know it.
Audience, any knowledge of Sasquatch that has a blue ball, and I'm guessing like a blue energy ball kind of thing, used for attack of communication? This is from Kairos Towns.
Yes, the blue orbs. Of course, some of them are tiny spaceships. You would call them like TARDISes, where it's a bigger on the inside kind of thing, where people see us zipping into them and existing in that. Other races use that same technology. That's why it's confusing. And some of them are also manifestations of ourselves as well, where this is our energy that people are seeing. This is why sometimes tagging along with our people see orbs. A lot of times they're little spaceships, other times it is elemental energy. So it's roughly 50-50, I should say. Within that, I hope answers this.
Okay, we have another question from the audience. This is kind of unique. This is from Tennessee, Kentucky Bigfoot, and they say, I believe humans are 12 different tribes mixed with the ET from the 12 star signs. The two unknown tribes are natural ones, being Bigfoots and mermaids. Can you confirm or elaborate? Is the question.
Yes, there are multiple tribes that actually are related to humans. Mermaids, mer people, are indeed related to yourselves. We are related to yourselves. Humans are basically, to be polite, it would be more of a mud race that actually has come from from another galaxy, actually, that colonized different areas, very much like your 65 movie, as you compare it to. And you are essentially a mix of multiple tribes. You don't necessarily have to attribute a number to this, but mer people and yourselves and ourselves are indeed related, but under the purview of more Poseidon and the mer people and their different tribes and different leadership. There may have been mutated differences between your DNA and some of the fish type groups. Here on Earth, also the energies and magnetic field here on Earth would cause a differential in the way some of the eugenics alterations would take to how can I put this, ground here. I'm trying to struggle to find the word in this. The dogmen ran into this. The Antiquan dogmen ran into this too, or you would call them like Anubis type people. They ran into this, had to breed a different version of themselves to be able to exist here. The muscles got bigger, and they became more, in some instances, more Neanderthal-like. In this instance, yes, that assessment is correct, but you don't always have to attribute the number to it. There's actually quite a bit more than 12 or 13. Just some have attributed the number 12 or 13 to things, but there are a lot more genetic variances included in all of us.
From TKB, once again, which is a little bit interesting. I don't know if the Bigfoot would really know about this, but I figure, It's an interesting question, so let's ask it. Was our moon a drifter from Jupiter, then Maldex, then here, or elaborate? Which I don't know if the Bigfoot.
This goes into a bit of your galactic history. It was actually commissioned in a distant solar system in the way back time, you would say. A very long time ago. The one you know of as Odin and the Asgardian kingdom actually had this created. And this was something that was supposed to help guard the solar system. When the bad guys invaded the system, they took it over and tried to retrofit it to use it as a doomsday weapon, to basically aim it at you guys. It no longer has that function. They tried to turn it into a soul trap. It no longer has that function. It's essentially caught in a geosynchronous orbit, and it's essentially, you would call it a moonship, or the Venusian colonies would call it a moonship. This was essentially made to be a guard, essentially, and this is where Lucas got his idea for the Death Star type of thing from. And a couple other moons in your system have that seam around the center of it. You see remnants of this old technology in your system, like the monolith on Phobos and places like that. You start to see, and they don't particularly care for the word Maldex. That is a reptilian word. I'm being told from the Asgardian group, correct them on the Maldex thing, because it's
Is it Tiamat?
No, this was the kingdom of Asgard, actually, and the Ragnarok was what blew up the planet, and you see the asteroid belt as a result. This was essentially the Ragnarok of the gods. So this essentially it's not going to happen. It already has occurred, you see. But he likes to say if it's something that is undealt with in your own past, you are actually seeing ahead of you, but it is behind you. This already has occurred in your history, and you are actually getting communications from the remnants of those particular people from that time. And Maldex is a word, a draconian word, meaning ours. Planting the flag. This is ours. This is not yours.
Audrey Walters says that as well. She says this exact thing.
Wow, that's interesting. I remember when I was on Maldex, people would get mad at you if you called it that. So
yeah, it's a slur.
Arkin, you just called it Maldex again. You're very unpolitically correct, brother.
And also, so the term Bigfoot as well. We prefer forest people.
Okay, so
I wanted to go back. Let me ask this real quick because the one thing that you guys may not realize that I really want to come out is that anytime a new clan, tribe, however you describe yourself, group decides to come on and talk, my nerves are shot.
Starts with Maldex and Nabru. Maldex had it going on. Weather control, perfect society. Nabru, with their superior stand, felt they should manage the planets. Maldex got experimented on by Nabru, supposed to be good intentions, but is it good intentions to not get consent? That started the family feud. Nabru ended up blowing up Maldex. So that ball of fire blew, and luckily we was on the other side of the sun and Mars got screwed and was a cushion. Now that ball of fire became our second sun. It carried all the water and steam around it. The red dust and the water landed on Earth. The ball cooled to be our now moon, causing higher push and pull on Earth, aiding with the flood, scorch, and red clay mud to kill all the large-celled creatures. Dinosaur extinction now baked the land, bedrock now, with footprints. So now we create Adam and Eve out of clay, red dirt from Maldex, mixed with Earth's natural beings, man/Bigfoot, with their DNA, created Atlantis. Nabru people, Lemuria/Mu, are the Maldex and natural Earth beings. Now Family Feud Part 2, Nabru/Atlantis was putting rock chakras in people. And when they got around others they blew up. Lemuria thought it was the government doing this, and that started their internal fall. Now, we have the destruction of both Atlantis and Lemuria. Now modern time, they take people like you to do their work again. I'm sure they want you to think they are doing the best thing for life. But, for a being to take another without full consent and approval, I vote no. We are not cattle. They know we have the spirit with us. They know we have infinite power. They have no right by God to do what they are doing. Now God did allow this. It will be for the betterment of all. But holy hell! That is where we are at. Keep strong, sister. We love you. Matt added, God allows everything out of love. Which love means you are free to come or free to leave. If you can't walk out, they are being like demons. So treat them like a demon. Ask for higher authority. The moon caused Earth to stretch and breathe to become alive. It slowed down its rotation when it came by Mars. It turned and then conjoined its orbit with Earth. That created the Earth flexing, like the body stretching. Push and pulled like breathing. God breathed light into the Earth. Like the lungs expanding and compressing. Two sides of God. Masculine is the physical. Feminine is the invisible. When we follow the physical world more than the spiritual world, we get unbalanced. The things unseen is love, feelings, thought. Your journey to Earth is to put you in a polarity experience so you can remember you are both. Phones are the great divide. At one time you would take trains, planes, and automobiles to be with someone, and when you got there the love was incredible. People all think they know everything now and have nothing in their hearts. Jim Morrison 2020